Hi, I'm Noah, one of the two devs on Gospel of Steel. Gospel of Steel is a first-person deep-sea welding horror game, a combination of Hardspace Shipbreaker, Subnautica, and Voices of the Void. You play as a saturation welder stuck at the bottom of the ocean, working for a cult maintaining a pipeline for mysterious reasons. Those reasons will come apparent as the game progresses. A major part of the game is the wildlife, and for the past 5 months, I've been working on a semi-accurate simulation of the marine ecosystem. I want to show off the designs and technical side of this part of the project. Let's start off with the design of the creatures. The very first one I made was the flesh crab. It's this crab spider flesh thing. I had thrown it together in Blender, textured it, rigged it, and animated it, and even implemented it into Unity. And although I liked the overall idea of it, I was never able to fully settle on it. I wanted to do something with flesh eggs and infecting pipes, but I just kind of started making the creature and threw it all together willy-nilly. I didn't really have pillars of design that I wanted to hit, and it kind of just ended up as a muddled mess. So instead, I started on an earlier stage of creation, the concept art, and started designing more creatures. I started with a cockroach isopod combo, which formed massive swarms. I really liked the idea of swarms getting so large that they became destructive to themselves, consuming so much that the creatures are forced to eat each other within the swarm. This creature would burrow into other creatures and eat their way out, which I think really hit in that kind of gross, nasty feel. The next creature I made was this pipe centipede creature combo. It kind of brought up a lot of questions about the lore of the world, but conceptually I really liked the idea of a player working on a pipe only to realize it was alive. This thing would kind of disguise itself as a pipe. The player would cut into it, and then it would unburrow itself and start attacking the player. This creature was kind of like a hermit crab. It would find empty pipes and then use the pipe as a shell. Also, while doing research, I learned a lot about how jellyfish reproduce, and this led me to create the next one. I was able to go through each step of the jellyfish and make this really gross and scary looking creature. Yeah, some of these haven't been fully developed yet, but I plan on coming back and naming and sketching out more angles of them. I also created this parasite creature, a combo between a brittle star and a horsehair worm. It would purposely be eaten so it could reproduce and fill the host with eggs until the host dies. Real gross stuff. And that brings us back to the flesh crab. I went back and redesigned it, making it look more like a spider and fully drawing out the process of infecting the pipes. I really like the tiny eyes that it has, similar to crabs. I thought it was a really nice touch. Overall, I'm excited to make more of these, fully model and implement them into the final game. Thinking up gameplay mechanics for each also makes for a really interesting process too. Now for the technical side of all this. I spent a while learning how an actual ecosystem works, the dynamics between plankton and algae. For those who actually know the details, specifically of naming conventions, I've simplified them for my sake, but overall they act pretty similar. In this simulation, I have carbon pools and oxygen pools. Carbon pools can get exchanged and can increase and decrease depending on plankton to algae ratio, and bacteria also balances the overall plankton as well. Each species is categorized into 6 major categories: apex predator, mesopredator, reef omnivore, bottom feeder, herbivore, and feeder fish. I'm not going to go into detail on each of these, but it's a basic food chain. With this tool, however, I'm able to display the data in 3 different ways. The basic chart gives me more information about individual creatures. I can see the energy storage, which informs how many offsprings will be produced, as well as the food supplies available. This is useful for more precise balancing of the ecosystem, as I can actively see which creatures have available food and which ones don't. The second display is purely for the amount of creatures. It shows me the trends when I kill off an entire species and when I run events like whale falls. This one is useful and also just pretty interesting to watch, as I can see which species directly impacts other species. Lastly is this 2D/3D sim, which is a lot closer to what the player will see in the final game. Right now, they have basic Boyd behavior, courtesy of Nicholas Veslov, which run on a grid system to detect other Boyds. However, there is a trade-off of FPS and awareness that comes to changing how large or small the grid squares are. I plan on switching over to dots and ECS in the future, but for now it gets the point across. The behavior and visual for this one is a lot more interesting to watch compared to the other two, but again, FPS is currently the biggest issue. That's it for now. I plan on showing off more when I create more creature concept art and actual 3D models, and as well as implement more stuff into the game. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe for future videos. Follow us on Instagram as well. We ask for name suggestions for creatures on there all the time. Thanks again. Have a good one.
Well for our